Because we're going back to Mr. Otegbade shortly.
Yes.
In terms of response from NEMA, what did you get in terms of response from them?
In terms of response from NEMA in Asaba, it is more now in the camps. I can tell you that, they are coming in.
So
and
their
of course,
presence has not been...
No, it was more of the state agency that was doing everything, handling everything.
So in essence, the National Emergency Management,
we didn't get much of that impact. No.
So they are pretty much okay. Let me ask you, Philip.
Yeah, it is sad that this unfortunate situation has turned out to be a learning experience. In the communities I visited in Kogi, the ERA team visited not only Kogi, also visited Makurdi, Cross River, Edo State. This thing also happened in the Sako area of Edo State. Most of the camps we visited, to be very fair to the NEMA man, NEMA was on ground. Their response, I can't say anything really about that, but they were actually on ground.
They were on
but
ground,
they were overwhelmed.
Okay.
I think that is the word. They were overwhelmed because when you get to the state emergency management authority, they were not there. But the NEMA officials were there. We spoke with some, because it was not just myself, a team from our organization. Those in the relief camps said the NEMA people came, but the state emergency management authority, they were nowhere to be found. But I think the NEMA people were overwhelmed because in the case of Lokoja was under siege. Apart from the fact that the floods were coming in from everywhere, hoodlums were catching in on the situation. We were getting reports that hoodlums were swimming through the flooded communities, especially in Lokoja, going to people's houses, breaking in and stealing property. Aside that, you also had cases of reptiles in town. What happened there will have been a collaborative effort, because if they have to bring their officials from Benue State,
would it have helped to have police and others
The
prepared?
police were not on ground. In most of the places visited, it was actually the youths that were controlling traffic and things that you would expect the police to be on ground doing. And then, like he said, it's not that I'm completely agreeing with him, but the fact that the Lokoja Abuja Express was blocked from the Kaba Junction to the very point where the traffic, where the River Niger overflowed the Lokoja Abuja Express, you couldn't get into town. It was a state of chaos. I don't think the state government in Kogi State did enough.
Okay, let me ask Mr. Otegbade then. Mr. Otegbade, can you tell us, in terms of budget to ensure your presence is felt all around the country, because we cannot have a national emergency management agency that hasn't got a presence in most states of Nigeria. How national is it? It means you're just based in Abuja. In terms of your budget, is the budget enough? The Senate has said that there should be extra budget requirement put in place. What is the agency doing to ensure that the presidency or the federal government puts in this extra allocation required?
Thank you very much. I will say that, like most other government agencies, the budget, what we have coming to NEMA is not, if we can get more, it will be appreciated. Now, as to the issue of the immediate response, you remember that the president inaugurated a committee, a technical committee to review, to assess the impact of the flood, with the Minister of Environment as the chair. We had the Minister for Water Resources and Works, as well as the PAMSEC of the Ecological Fund, and my DG was to act as the secretary. Just 2 days back, they submitted their report detailing what could be done, both in the short term, in the immediate time, and the long term. And I believe that the appropriation that the Senate is asking that should be presented will go towards the recommendations they have made. However, please permit me, there is something that I think it's very, very important that we should understand. NEMA ordinarily should not be a first responder. The way emergency management is, a disaster is managed is such that you have a set of people that we call first responder. That's what I was referring to, is emergency response is essentially community-based. People that are in the vicinity, that are in the locality, are the first set of people to respond. After that, and those ones will have to be the local authority.
Mr. Otegbade, if
Yes.
you're saying that this should be the case, if this is the template, why have we not activated this template? It should be community-based, but we have a National Emergency Management Agency that has headquarters in Abuja and no presence in Lokoja, no presence in Delta State. So how do we look at something that we say, this is the template, it should be community-based, and yet we're not using that?
The National Emergency Management Agency is organized zonally. We have zonal offices across the federation. Our job essentially is to coordinate the activities of all stakeholders. And the state emergency management agencies, the local government communities, and all other NGOs like the Red Cross and other international agencies are all stakeholders. Our mandate essentially is to coordinate the activities of all of these agencies. Like I said, NEMA ordinarily shouldn't be a first responder. For example, I'll give you an example. If there is a large-scale fire incident, the whole country expects NEMA to respond. But in actual fact, what's supposed to be is that the fire service within the locality should respond first. If it is beyond their means, the state should respond. If it is getting out of hand, the federal should respond. For example, we will not expect NEMA to be in possession of firefighting vehicles. However, we know all the private, government, and other that have facilities that can fight fire. We can coordinate their effort and gear them towards resolving the disaster at hand. That's what I'm trying to say here. So it is not possible for NEMA to have presence in every locality community. However, the communities can have these emergency committees, which can be duplicated at the local government level, which can be expanded at the state level, and then the national level will now coordinate all these activities. So what I'm saying in essence is that I'm encouraging the state. Pardon me?
Are you in touch with all these agencies such that you can actually coordinate their activities in times of emergencies?
We are always in touch with them, always. In fact, what we have is that we have a national contingency plan that details what steps to be taken if there be any emergency like that. And immediately an emergency is reported, the representative of all the agencies, this national contingency plan has been signed by all the heads of all the organizations. And they have representatives that anytime the contingency plan is activated, we have like an incident room at our headquarters, and you have representative of all these, depending on the nature of the incident, all the stakeholders that can respond, that can be of use during that disaster. Their representative reports to NEMA headquarters, where all activities on the ground is coordinated. And even on the field, we have this good working relationship with all these stakeholders.